Philadelphia Eagles have the best defense in football. I've seen enough. The Philadelphia Eagles have the best defense in football. Josh Allen today was, aside from the heroics, late game heroics, we'll give him credit. He was bad. Josh Allen played terrible football today. What's good, y'all? It's your boy, Philly Talk PA. Always keep it stat, always keep it a buck. I hope the audio for this one is good. I forgot my headphones. We're in Big BK right now. Shout out Brooklyn. Shout out to the fam. But different space for today. See, old Mike, old Mike. But let's get into this because I woke up today and everybody said that James Cook, the X Factor, was going to run all over the Eagles defense. I woke up today and everybody said that Josh Allen was going to run all over the Eagles defense. James Cook. James Cook is someone that, first off, the Bills, or really the Josh Allen fan base likes to try to forget that James Cook exists. When James Cook doesn't do much, the Bills lose. It's clear, it's set in stone. When James Cook today, 20 carries, 74 yards, 0 touchdowns. NFL's leading rusher. When James Cook, Josh Allen fans don't want to admit it, but when James Cook doesn't do much, the Bills lose. Josh Allen today, up until late fourth quarter, was terrible. 30-yard fumble. If you want to make fun of Hurts for a double turnover, Josh Allen, what were you doing, bro? When the running game isn't going well for most teams, unless you're Joe Burrow, where the running game already isn't good, that team will tend to lose. Look at the Baltimore Ravens. But Philadelphia, I just want to, because there were a bunch of plays. I mean, first off, Jalen Carter is back. We see now why he wasn't himself for a majority of the season. That procedure on the shoulders, whatnot, all that stuff. And today, got a sack. Swim move the hell. I don't know, bro. The center must have. I thought the center was just a statue. Jalen Carter just swam over every single time he's in the backfield. And that's Jalen Carter is a big reason why James Cook did not have a day. Jalen Carter is a big reason why Josh Allen did not have a day. Jalen Hunt, big time sack. Jalen Phillips, big time pressures. Nolan Smith, Moro Jomo, Byron Young. Byron Young, like, whatever, excuse me. Byron Young, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter took over the trenches today. I mean, I think it's Ty Johnson, it was Ray Davis, James Cook. They were getting nothing. And for a team, they still get it for over until 120 yards, but up until that fourth quarter, the defense they still played sensational. But we'll get to the offense. But it doesn't matter how good the defense is, you keep on giving people like Josh Allen opportunities. Eventually, he's going to score. Like at some point, they're going to get home. We saw with the Chargers. We've seen the Eagles do it with other teams, with the Broncos. You keep giving people opportunities, eventually one of them is going to score. And let's talk about that last play. Josh Allen has now, first off, Josh Allen, the only team he still hasn't beaten, Eagles. Bills fans in the back. Just want to make sure y'all knew that. Josh Allen has now lost to the Eagles both times the same way. Look at in 2023, game on the line, Josh Allen overthrows a wide open Gabe Davis in the end zone, and Jalen Hurts' next possession takes it in a game winning touchdown. This year, today, Josh Allen drives him down the field, down by one. McDermott clearly going for two, and has a wide open Shakir in the end zone and misses him. This is what we're talking about with guys, in the big moments. And yes, Josh Allen came back in the fourth quarter. We'll talk about Eagles' lackluster offense in a sec, but Josh Allen drove him down, but couldn't complete it. And when you're bad like that all day, you've left points on the board. That fumble left points off the board. It's gonna cost you. Um, but this was an all time. Every member of the Eagles defensive line should get a game ball. And let if real quick while we're on it, shout out Jahad Campbell. Now, earlier in the week when we saw Nakobe Dean was out, we said Jahad Campbell is gonna have a day against Josh Allen. And I don't have it all in front of me. I'm trying to pull this up right here. Jahad Campbell, 7 total tackles, 1 pass defended, couple QB hits in there. Did great on the tight ends. Shout out Zach Bond. Jahad Campbell was the X factor the Eagles needed today. Jahad Campbell came through. And Quinyon, they got a couple on him. But yeah, other than that, defense was locked down. Brandon Cooks had a couple, That's why I've never liked Brandon Cooks, because he always gets those like lucky catches that I'm like, bro, like you're not supposed to be doing this, bro. Like that's not your bag. I mean, shout out Brandon Cooks, couple tough grabs. The one against Marcus Epps. I think he had the other one on the Gene. And then Quinyon, I think it was Quinyon the tough one, or I think it was Tyrell Shavers, who pretty much now is taking Keon Coleman's spot on the Bills roster. Coleman, you might have to just pack it up, brother. You're done. It's over. You're cooked. Hey, Tyrell Shavers, that's like what Tyrell Shavers kind of reminded me at least of a Mike Evans. But like, shout out to him. He made a tough grab. But nevertheless, when the Bills absolutely needed to have it, Josh Allen did not get it done. And defense gets a game ball for that. Now let's go to the other half. Also, shout out Jake Elliott today. 2 for 2. Jake Elliott today was 2 for 2. Harsh conditions. I feel like the harsher the conditions with Jake Elliott, the harder it is, the easier it becomes for him, if that makes sense. But shout out Jake Elliott, 2 for 2. Clearly points that were going to be needed as you got late in the ball game. But let's talk about the unit that in the second half had 17 total yards of offense. The offense today, Jalen Hurts in the first half was 13 of 20, 110 yards, and a touchdown. Second half, I believe it was 0 for 6. 0 for 6. Now, was all that his fault? No. Um, I didn't like some of the route combinations that were being called. The BS run plays were back in effect today on first down, putting the offense behind the sticks. But, Hurts, this is not all on him, but, and there was it's a driving rainstorm. Clearly, neither quarterback was flinging it up and down the field all day. But the offense still didn't quite do enough. Obviously, you can say they did quite well enough because they won the game, but you never accept anything in a loss that you win in a win. And for this team to be on fire in the first half, it seemed like a couple nice drives. Hurts, Dallas Goedert, and we'll get to Dallas Goedert. We'll do a quick Dallas Goedert spiel, but AJ was cooking in the first half. It's so hard for fans when we're looking at it. We're looking at people like Nick Sirianni. We're looking at people like Kevin Patullo. If something is working, why would you stop it? And we know, I think Brady mentions it on the broadcast, how the Bills made some adjustments. But you're telling me they completely took away A.J. Brown? They completely took away Dallas Goedert in the middle? Like it, I mean, it's tough. Like you know, and even with those two, Devontae Smith is still there. You can't get the ball to him. Darius Cooper, I think, had like one grab. Like you can't get the ball to him a bit more. Dallas Goddard, three for 8 yards. Like be serious. Patullo, Sirianni, be serious. Just be serious for a second. But nevertheless, um, defense today, and once again, this is a team game. And when one unit didn't have it, the defense stood on their head. Buffalo's offense did not have it for 95% of the game. Buffalo's defense stood on its head when they absolutely had to. That way, the offense, could pick it up. But nevertheless, the offense you can't go to Chicago, you can't go to the Rams and play like that. You can't just drop off for a half. You're not. It's the playoffs where every point is crucial. You cannot drop off like this. I mean, this has been a tale. The entire Eagles season has been a tale of two halves. Whether it's first half against the Bucks, second half against the Rams, first three quarters against the Broncos, where it's going good, and then all of a sudden just falls off a cliff, like for some reason. But nevertheless, Eagles, and this is why, we here Philadelphia PA, guys, ball on Instagram, other networks. This is why we say the Eagles should not be scared necessarily of everyone in the NFC. If you're able to drop off for entire halves against multiple top tier opponents, Rams, Bucks early in the season, today against the Bills, and you still are able to come out with a win because your offense is just that good or your defense was just that good that day, that is a scary sight to see. And we know the Rams can't necessarily afford to do that offensively, take stuff off because their defensive secondary especially, will get torched. The Bears can't necessarily do that because their defense is not top like that. They're top in takeaways, but they're not top like that. And then you're looking at the rest of the NFC. You know, the Niners, we're going to see them against the Bears tonight. This is going to be obviously their toughest test yet. Outside, Seattle and the Rams, obviously. But, you know, this is the Eagles can clearly afford, to a certain extent, to take some time off, but then still come up with plays when you absolutely need it most to come out with a win. But obviously, Hurts has to be better. But I just it's so many times, and here's where we're gonna talk about it. A guy that should not have been a Pro Bowler this year, Cam Jurgens. It's tough because people and Tyler Steen has not played well, like his best this year, or maybe that's just his ceiling. Is how up and down he's been this year. But the guy next to him, oh my, backup D lineman, swim moving Cam Jurgens repeatedly off the jump. Saquon gets the ball, dude's in his face. Handoff. Dickerson or Jurgens misses a block. Two dudes and Matt Milano's in Saquon's face. It gets to one where like people want to blame the casuals want to say Saquon is washed, but are you watching what's happening? Do you not see as soon as and maybe yes he's a bit older, so when the same exact stuff was happening when he was on the Giants, he could still turn. Like I remember there was a play. There was a play when Saquon Barkley against the Philadelphia Eagles in 2019 was met by two guys in the backfield, four guys in total at the line of scrimmage, and still managed to turn that into a 9-yard gain. That is how good Saquon Barkley. It's just how special Saquon Barkley is. But over time, yes, any running back. Look at James Cook today, who's younger than Saquon Barkley, having a better statistical season. Although Saquon still has 1,000 yards, Saquon Barkley down year is a tremendous year for most running backs. We keep trying to tell people, but nevertheless, when multiple people are meeting you in the backfield, it is hard. Unless you are Barry Sanders, it is hard to get something going. That's fact. That's not innuendo, hyperbole. We don't engage in that over here. But we're just looking at this, And the running game, clearly did not have its best day today. But, when you absolutely had to have something, that was when Jalen Carter, that was when Zach Bond, that was when Quinion Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, that is when those guys said, we got it from here. Allen drove the D line, drove the boys down the field. D line was tired, but nevertheless, still able to come away with this. And once again, Eagles being able to have so many games like this kind of reminds me of the Chiefs, except these are not the Chiefs players. This is not Rashee Rice. This is not Worthy. This is not Juju. This is AJ, Devontae, Dallas Goddard, Saquon. Like this is not, and the O line has not really been good, but this is still Jalen Hurts. This is still that defense that, because aside from Trent McDuffie, the Chiefs don't have a secondary. Chris Jones was the only guy on the Chiefs offensive line this year. Linebacker play was not good. So this team is still like, you can kind of get away with these one score tight wins, and then even take it into the playoffs, because now all those guys have been there before, including most of the young guys. So I feel like that's a good comparison to the 2023 Chiefs, the one beat the Niners, just because of how well they were able to play in these tight games when one unit might not have it going. Um, because once again, people like to forget and try to take shots at Hurts, and he's not good. Well, was the other team throwing in the rainstorm too, or was Josh Allen throwing in a tent? Because once again, Josh Allen was good and terrible today for 95% of the game. He was awful. Taking unnecessary sacks. And once again, for people who are saying he's injured, he's hobbled. If you are injured, get off the field. If you are hurt, get off the field. Like, it's very hard, and that's why we don't do this. Because Lamar Jackson was playing good and terrible, but then people are saying, "Oh, his hamstring, get off the field." When Jalen Hurts in 2023 had that ankle and he couldn't run, and therefore was making poor decisions throwing the football because he couldn't move his legs, so he's forcing the ball into tight windows, too many tight windows. And we Eagles fans are trying to say that is why y'all gave him no grace. Y'all said if you're injured, get off the field. So Josh Allen therefore gets no grace for today's performance for most of the game. If you are injured, get off the field. I do not care, because if he had won the game, Bills fans would have said, "Oh, he's a warrior. You saw he couldn't even run. He did this." That's what y'all would have been saying. So now that he lost, don't pull out but he was injured. He was on one leg. Don't do that. We do not do that. Oh no. Oh no. Don't do that. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work out for you. That does not work on us here at Philly Talk. Um, but Jahad Campbell, X Factor, he had to have a day. He had one. Jalen Carter back and ready. Jordan Davis, Byron Young today. Shout out Byron Young in that run game. Dallas Goddard is having a career season. Dallas Goddard is making it very difficult for Howie Roseman this offseason. I think 1,000 yards, double digit TDs. Dallas Goddard is making it tough. And I know a lot of people like Grant Calcaterra and say, "Oh, we can move on." When the Eagles lost Zach Ertz, it was because they knew Dallas Goddard, he's got us. And Calcaterra is a really good blocker. He can make some catches, but he's not the same. He hasn't shown consistently. I know because he's a tight end too, but he hasn't consistently shown that he can be the downfield threat that Dallas Goddard is. But Dallas Goddard had himself a game today. Got it in the end zone. He's making it very tough for Howie Roseman. But hey, and Eagles next week against Commanders. Do we want, this is the kind of last thing we'll talk about on this, John. We'll talk more later in the week. But do you sit? We know the Commanders players are going to be salty, after they got ran over last week, all that. Dan Quinn, we'll see them in 2 weeks. I'm thinking, because you don't want your team, especially If we were the 1 seed, I'd especially not want that because now you're sitting your guys for essentially 3 weeks. You're not having them play for like 3 weeks. But this week against Washington at home, you have the starters play first half, then second half. No matter what the score, you kind of let them. You Tanner McKee, let Darius Cooper, Jahan Dawson, Will Shipley, those boys cook. You let some of the like Ty Robinson, some of those D linemen, Jeremiah Trotter get some reps because you just don't want Commanders player to do something dirty, take out a player, and then he's lost for next week's game against probably the Rams or the Packers, whoever it's going to be, Rams or Packers probably. But we'll see about that. But Eagles did what they had to do today. Josh Allen folded. He folded again. He did it. He folded. Once again, we don't do the excuse. If you're injured, get off the field. We don't do that because when Jalen Hurts was injured, y'all didn't give him any grace. So we're not gonna do that for Josh Allen. But hey, man, it's your boy, Philly Taco PA, because we always know we keep it a stack, always keep it a buck. I'm out, y'all.